Hello, I'm Marky Dragon, also known as Marcus Eikenberry in real life, and welcome to another episode of Neosland Kickstarter Edition, Q&A, all of that good stuff. So we've been talking about all kinds of stuff, and everything from horse dung to marriage to, is there any progression with that stuff if we put the two together? So... Jacques, we have the system where if someone pledges today who's watching this live, by the time people see this on video, it will be the next day. And so we have 30 gifts here that people on the first day are going to get. And on the next day, they'll get 29 of them. So, I don't know which one's going to be removed. I guess we'll find out tomorrow which one's been removed. Next item on the list is a pet slime. Why would I want a pet slime?
Well, then everybody needs a little friend with himself, right? So at least you'll have a little friend running around in the world before you make your other friends, right? We just want to make sure everybody is happy, when they get into the world and they don't feel alone when they get into the world.
So we have a slime. Yeah, okay.
But
okay.
The spit can be used for other things too, right? Like you can use him to draw some aggro from a mob, if you've been chased and stuff like that. Then use a slime. So it doesn't really matter if he, if he gets killed, it's not the end of the world. He's just a piece of slime. So he can put himself together again and come back. If he gets hit with a sword,
you now have two pet slimes. No, I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but. Yeah, maybe he'd just chop up into smaller and smaller pieces until you didn't see them anymore. So they're like fleas. So, okay. Well, that could be interesting. That could be a lot of fun, too. There's a lot of fun things that could happen with that. So.
Yeah, sure.
Can I have a conversation with my slime?
Oh.
Will it reciprocate?
I don't know. What do you want to ask of your slime?
Just have a conversation about the day, how the day's going, the weather, everything like that.
Yeah. We could have it that he talks back to you. If you look at the picture, he's got a face there, right? So he might say, have a little bit of a chat with you every day and make you feel good.
Wouldn't it be funny if you could really, really look at your slime, make eye contact and everything, and then you look at your slime, and he looks back at you, and all of a sudden, he looks like you, but green and slimy. He's just kind of replicating what he sees. So, I don't know. There's all kinds of fun things that could be done with that. Now, with this being one of the rewards, will we be able to tame slimes in the game and, have them as
Definitely
pets?
Not like this one, that's for sure. He'll be one of the unique creatures you'll ever find in the game.
Okay. Well, sounds good. So, Kaz, it looks like you grabbed a mic.
Yes, I did.
Excellent. So, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very good, thank you.
So, what's on your mind?
Oh yeah, do you have a question regarding pets and whether or not we can actually name them and give them names? And how exactly will the pet system work in the game?
Well, definitely you'll be able to name your pets. I mean, that's a definite thing that we want to bring in. And at the moment, we haven't gone that much into it with the roundtables. I mean, depending on how the community wants it. But, pets, I want to make sure that pets does play a big role in the game as well, for people. Like already, we've been speaking about different transportation systems, and building wagons and stuff like that, and having certain horses or whatever draw the wagons, and so that being said, that you're going to have those as your pets, right? So there's going to be definitely something that you're going to have to add into them and so on. They're definitely be playing a bigger role in the game.
So will there be elephants in the game? Because if there is, I
Maybe.
want to name my elephant Mouse.
You never know. Anything is possible.
I suppose they had elephants in medieval times, so it's not out of the realm of possibilities. You just had to go to India and Africa to see them. So, okay. Thanks, Kaz. Ink. We've got
All right.
Ink here on the show. Yes. So, Ink, what's on your mind?
Well, I did pass out during the show, so I'm not sure if you discussed this. What about transportation between two big cities, such as town teleportation, mage portals?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jock.
We're going to have different transportation systems in place, right? Like teleportation between cities, with portals, depending if there's a portal close to it, right? And when you say big cities, that's all going to be also depending on what the community creates. Like we don't want to have the big cities right off the bat, so that's going to be a community-created system. So it depends on where the cities gets created and so on, and how they get evolved from there, if there's any portals close to them and so on. But other than that, there's going to be so many different types of transportation, like with, like, say, horses or wagons, or between seafaring transportation and stuff like that. So there's going to be a lot of options. And also one of the we won't say anything yet. I'll wait till we get to that for the rewards.
Okay. Speaking of transportation, will we be able to swim underwater?
For sure.
Okay.
We
want to have caves on the water so you can go diving in, and if you can make it, you can find some good loot there, or maybe get into a cave and discover some more stuff. Like exploration is a very big part of this game. Like I think it's going to be a very, very big thing to do. Make sure you can explore a lot of places.
So with that said, do we think that Atlantis existed in medieval times?
Yes.
Before
the mouse in
medieval
the
times.
corner. Before medieval times, yeah. And so maybe we want to have the possibility of being able to have a home underwater.
That is possible.
We've also talked about houseboats and other types of craft like that that people could possibly live in. So.
Oh, I do have a question regarding that, actually. Dragotar was wondering, what is the height and depth limit right now for in-game? Like, how high can you build? How low can you dig?
Oh, we haven't set the exact height and depth limit yet, right? So it depends on the different systems that we're working on. At the moment, we were only looking at the voxel system originally for just using in a dungeon creation, so you could dig quite deep into it, right? But I can say that we are looking at moving that over to a full voxel system for the whole world, and there's a chance that we'll be implementing that. So it'll give you a lot of different options, that you can do when it comes to terrain editing and stuff like that on your own property that you own.
So we're talking voxel system like Minecraft is a voxel system.
Yeah, but not the blockiness. You look at EverQuest Next, that type of voxel system.
Yeah. So it'll just look much better.
Yeah.
So, but gives us the freedom and creativity to terraform our land and to do other things. Like one of the things that I've talked about wanting to do is maybe I want to build ships, and so maybe I want to have my property close to the water and be able to, actually dig out, a waterway up to my house so that I can, build the ships at my house or whatever, or maybe have a water garage. I don't know.
Well, one of the voxel system we're looking at implementing and so on allows you to dig into, say you're digging your cave and you dig into an area that is like a lake or something like that. The water would come rushing into your cave, so you might drown and stuff like that. So we have fluid liquids and stuff like that. So you have to be careful where you dig also.
Okay. Yeah, you'd want to control that stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that would also give us the ability then to have whirlpools out in the ocean. That could be a navigational hazard, that your ship could get sucked into a whirlpool, and then it'd be in the underworld. And darn it, you're not getting that ship back out, are you?
Yeah, the possibilities are endless, right, with this type of system, right? And also like deforming, like similar to what EverQuest has done. Where you deform the terrain by combat and stuff like that, or different means, of things, and you can get to other parts of the world that you couldn't normally get to and stuff like that. It's just an enormous system and an awesome system.
So combat-based destruction, as in,
Yeah.
I have my catapult and I lob a giant boulder out at a wall, and it could break off the tip of it, or maybe if it hits the base, it causes the whole thing to cave in right there.
Yeah. Or if you miss it and you hit the ground next to it, it makes a big hole in it.
Okay. I could see that. I would love to, come up to a town that when you get near it, that it's all pitted and pockmarked and everything, and there's all kinds of evidence there that some pretty major battles have happened in the past, and you'd be like, ooh, exciting! Oh shit, I better look out, So I think that would be really great. A lot of fun.
Yeah, and then you can have the different ground golems or whatever, and coming around and fixing up the terrain and being very upset about doing all that work and have to fix it up again every time. So, it opens up a lot of possibilities.
Yeah. Okay. So we're open for another question.
We had a discussion after the show about permadeath, but having a system where, yes, you have a PvE zone, which is the majority of the land, then PvP zones, but also letting players be able to switch on the PvP tag while in the PvE zones, so they can then be attacked by other players that want to then attack and then switch into PvP mode. So as soon as you hit PvP mode, you go into like a 10-minute, 20-minute timer where you're PvP in a PvE zone, so anyone can then attack you.
I think we need an episode for this.
Yeah, and then
A roundtable
That's
episode.
definitely a roundtable discussion.
Yeah. That's because it's pretty deep. So, and I think that the whole system needs to be worked out so that one, it's exciting. Two, it's not something that causes you to like cry in real life when your character dies because you just lost all your shit. And three, there does need to be some risk, but also some reward. So, and it needs to be semi-consensual.
Well, yeah, we're thinking that you lose everything that you have on you, everything in your bags, all your armor, and then it will drop on the floor in a bag. Maybe 40% of what you had on you would then appear in a bag for someone then to pick up. So you don't get everything, but you get a percentage of what's dropped.
We'll iron all those out in an actual episode for this. So, and looting may be different than PvP. So, that might be an episode in itself as well. There are some things in this that we can go very infinitesimal on to make it right, and I believe in taking the time to put this stuff right, so that when we get into the game we have a great system, and then at the same time I'm also, just for myself, and I hope Jacques is too, very willing that if there are problems that are cropping up in the game once we launch, that we can do roundtables to resolve them and come up with solutions. So my number one goal is that everyone has fun, and as long as whatever we're doing in the game equals fun, then we're succeeding. So. That to me, that's the number one measure of whether or not this game is successful. So, okay.
I have some questions here from the chat.
Okay.
Okay, I had a question here from Kid Video. He wanted to know, in Minecraft there are open caverns in the land. Will there be any open space in the ground within this game that is not created by the player itself?
Like I was saying, with the voxel system we're looking at, if we implement that voxel system, there'll definitely be a lot of caverns and stuff like that. Otherwise, we will have some in them but using that type of system, creates the best looking ones. So there definitely be different different types of areas you can go into. That's for sure.
Okay. And then Dunto had a question, Dunty11, probably Dunto, I'm not sure. He wanted to know, are rare items going to have a rarity color to show how rare the items are? And if so, can we use these items in a shop to set our own prices based on their rarity?
Like a grade level to them, like you have in games like World of Warcraft, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
the
the
different colors
green.
and-
Yeah, the different colors of the names.
Well, what I can say is we have the system already set up for that. So yes, but I mean, once again, that's something we haven't discussed in a roundtable, right? So it might change in the future, but at the moment it's already set up to handle that type of system already.
Yeah, there was a big discussion on that about that on the forums, where having quality of materials and then having items with a quality level, and that's the higher the quality, the more damage they will do, or the better they'll dig a hole, things like that. Where I mean, it also has to do with the skill level you have. So skill level 1 wouldn't be able to dig the highest quality on a regular basis, but it might sort of suddenly have a pot shot and suddenly get a quality 10 piece of ore, things like that. That's what's been discussed on the forums.
Well, I think we should. I think that we should have a show on item qualities, which would include, whether it's a colored system or whether it's a named system or, a system that's of identification and everything. I loved the way it was done in Ultima Online. You had a massive indestructible sword of vanquishing, and so it was just a regular sword, or a Chris or whatever, but it had these other qualities, massive and the indestructible, massive. I can't remember what massive meant, but like indestructible, it had to do with the durability, and vanquishing had to do with its power and everything. So, that fun stuff, and well, anyway, this is a whole discussion that I've written it down for one of the roundtable shows. I think it's a very good topic to discuss, and how it should be done. So, yeah. Okay, more questions?
Yes. Here we go. This one is from MMO Cause, formerly known as Drunken Cause.
Well, and he's here on the show right now.
It's like Prince. It's like he's the artist formerly known as Cause.
And Cause is here right now.
Yes. I'm not sure if his mic is not working. He typed it in chat. So I'll go ahead and read it, and then he can elaborate on it, maybe. I don't know. Let's see. All right, here we go. He said, I have a question regarding the building system. I saw in the gameplay trailer on Kickstarter where you're able to dig out your dungeon in real time. Would you be able to collect certain materials from doing this type of excavating?
For sure, yeah. We definitely want to have some resources, like you'll be digging and then you might find crystals or whatever in it, right? So yeah, definitely there'll be something that you can get from your own dungeon also. And I mean, you won't know really what it's going to be. Like, it'll be a random thing, And we want to incorporate that same system into like caves and stuff when you go out into the world, and also looking for resources and stuff like that. Like you can dig out a cave, for instance, and then it'll open up another cave, and you can find some resources in there depending on where you're digging and how you're doing stuff, right?
Now, also, this would be like part of the mining skill and everything. But then once you dug out all the tunnels underneath your property and stuff, what do you do with it? You turn it into a dungeon.
Exactly.
And you invite the monsters in, and then your friends to go die so that the monsters loot them and give you part of the loot. And so thus you can thieve from your friends without them knowing it. Okay. Cool.
Somebody's going to be an evil political backing. I see this happening.
They're not going to vote for me because they like me. They're going to have to.
Off with their heads and all that?
Oh, yeah.
I can just see you walking down the city with your Marky Dragon cloak, like Star Wars, like you're sitting
I'm
or something.
I'm excited to see how many people becomes very evil in this game. To be honest,
Tons.
what's the ratio between good and evil?
Expect tons.
Very thin line.
Yeah. The problem is that conflicts with what else I want to do. I want to be a merchant, and I want to be damn evil.
Nobody
And-
wants to buy from evil
Two
people.
characters.
And so people are going to be like, fuck you, I don't want to buy from him. Oh, sorry, did I say that out loud? I just meant to think it.
Marky the Crooked Merchant should be his title.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with
No.
being an
Not
evil
crooked. I'm honest. I'll just kill you after you buy it and take the stuff back.
Didn't that work for your minions?
Real life staff asking me these questions.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
Question about dungeons.
Yes.
Once I have monsters in them, will I be able to train them in like sword or magic?
We don't really want to have the monsters that you have in because set by you itself, right? So, but as monsters go into combat and stuff like that, their skills, they'll have some type of skill system in place for them, which they'll increase. So they won't always be the same, the same low-level monsters that you fight all the time and always the same. They'll definitely be changing depending on how much time they fight and how much time they survive.
Yeah, that's one of the really interesting things that we talked about with the quests, that the quests may get harder the more people that fail them. And that's because the monsters, at least in the dungeon quests, the monsters in there, the more players that they kill, the more experience they get, the harder they are to defeat, the more experience you need to go kill them. And so we could end up with some really epic level mice in our dungeons. I don't know. I'm just thinking of what cockroaches. They're going to chew you to death.
Who's going to die to a level 1 cockroach?
Yes. Well, actually, he might be a level 50 cockroach, and you hit him with your sword, and he takes a bite out of it and hands it back to you and says, "Hey, chop my head off, will you? I can still live for 3 weeks without it." So, I think that's one of the things that we've discussed that if we can get that in place will be really brilliant because we can have some sort of indicator on someone's dungeon as to maybe what kind of skill level is recommended, or it can just be some sort of indicator of, this dungeon might be too easy for you, or it's holy shit, bring 50 of your friends, and each dungeon could change over time with with how hard it is and everything based upon the success or lack of success that other people are having. And so it can give you a new experience every time you go in.
Yeah, big thing we wanted to do is definitely having a different mob system, than other games where the mobs actually learn a little bit, and also not always spawning in the same location. Like that's a very big thing, Like we go to other games, you always know it's going to spawn in the exact same place, so you're always going to go there and fight the same one. It's such a grinding thing, where if the mobs were migrating different times and different weathers and stuff like that, you're going to have to go be like a real hunter if you're looking for a certain mob to find them, right? So we want to make the world more dynamic like that than just the normal standard that it's out there.
Okay, so that's all the time we have for this episode. So if you've got questions, hold on to them. We'll be right back. If you're in chat and not wanting to get on the Hangout itself, go ahead and post your questions in chat, and we'll see if we can get them answered. And if you are here in the Hangout right now, just hanging out, just listening, and only using chat, feel free to disconnect to make that spot available for other people who want to get in. And those of you watching live, about 6 or 7 minutes, we'll be into the next episode. And those of you watching on YouTube, about 2 hours, and the next episode will be up. So take care, everybody.